Hey everybody, welcome on into NXT on Tap. I am Scowls. That is Richie, and we're continuing the show on over here from TikTok. How's
Yeah,
everybody doing?
let me just say, that theme, better than Def Rebel. Am I right?
Yeah, 100%.
And we're
Yeah,
still in the
I'm
midst
actually
of this
pleased with
cage.
how it came out.
Yeah. Well, again, still in the midst of this cage match.
Yeah, Ridge Holland just had a
Oof.
very close fall before.
Yeah. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Ridge gets called up after this, just because, I know how they are with main roster stars back in NXT. They do want to, if they're on main roster deals, they do want to promote them back up.
Right. What's going on, Jax? How are we doing tonight?
How we doing?
See, I'm under the other impression.
Mhm.
I think that I think Stacks is going to turn on Tony D,
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
and Ridge wins the belt, and that's how Tony goes up.
Mm.
But I would love for
Oh,
them to go up as a faction,
yeah.
but that would be a lot of people going up to the main roster at once.
Do you think the just in general, just Tony D'Angelo by himself would be the move? Oh,
It
geez, there it
it
is.
wouldn't, but
Oh, there it is. Almost got a nice kick out right there. Push him. I gotta ask y'all. Y'all doing a special show for the NXT pay per view? Ooh, we hadn't
like
discussed that.
after the pay per view, Jacks, or like a prediction show beforehand.
Oof. Oh, oof, oof. And there it is.
That's one of the best in the business. That's Buster.
I do like that spine buster. I'm not sure how I feel about the kick out from the clothesline crowbar spot.
See, the good thing about that is it's not Ridge's finisher,
That's fair.
so it wasn't a kick out of a finisher like we were talking about earlier. Yeah, I wonder. I think Stacks is going to be upset.
Well,
Oh,
there's
damn.
there are people upset right there. Oh, jeez. Whatever happened to that guy? He went to AEW a little bit after. That was a part of Tony D'Angelo's like
What's going to happen here?
posse.
What's going to happen here?
Oh boy.
You're ahead of me, so I know that.
Yeah, I'm not spoiling anything. Uh-oh.
She she's going to turn. She is going to do it. Son of a bitch. I knew that shit was going to happen.
Well, that's what you got to do.
She was involved in this the entire time.
Got to have a mole on the inside.
Don't.
Oh, are they actually? Oh, because he is the chairman.
Yep. No, he didn't turn, Jax. Izzy Dane turned. And she joined Sean Spears' group. And now Tony D is getting his ass whooped.
Yep. And we're about to see a top rope C4.
Oh, that. Oh!
Oof.
Ooh. I wonder if that really hit his hand.
If it did, oof, boy.
Yeah, like, is that like he fell like that really hurt?
Yeah.
He might have actually hit his hand on that.
So slowly but surely, the men's division in NXT is taking its shape again.
Wow,
Always like a good group shot, but we still have
that's a good fact. That's gonna be a good faction.
yeah, we'll keep an eye out for a another preview of the or a tease of this villain or the villain team of this that they've been teasing.
That's a nice little video.
Yeah. Trying to up the importance of Vengeance Day.
Nice LA night. Is that when Roxanne won her
Yeah.
belt the first time?
Yeah.
Or
That Finn Balor second like NXT run is super underappreciated.
100%?
Like it's probably one of my favorite title runs of anybody. I gotta watch that Fatal 4-Way Iron Man match again. Got a lot of things hyped up.
Wow, old school Bailey, and no, not the Roxanne we saw tonight.
That's how you do
Actual old school Bailey.
it. So we got
Here's the three people. The name
yep.
show.
We got oh wow. They got different masks on.
Ooh,
They glow in the dark, so that's spooky. Maybe you're alright. Maybe it is retribution.
no.
Wow,
Those masks remind me of Eric Young.
that'd be fun.
That's what that reminds me of EY.
Reminds me of the Shield when they used to have the masks.
Yeah,
Yeah, but overall, fun show. Fun show on NXT. Good to go home.
yeah, that was a really good show. They furthered a lot of stories. That was definitely a crazy match.
And even
It was just
yeah, and even with the just like the cliffhanger for tonight's show with the cage match, that also progresses intrigue for the next show along with the pay-per-view as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, none of them were on the pay per view.
Well,
So.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're just watching week to week, that's what you're looking forward to.
Man, they developed a lot of stories tonight. I like how they're doing this.
Yeah, it's like even like the low stories got some progression in there. We got like our challengers for the remaining card of Vengeance Day. So like I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for Saturday. So just
I wonder what the. I want to see the full card.
let's see. I think it's like 6 matches, right? 6 matches.
It's 6 matches.
Hmm.
So you have the triple threat for the NXT Championship, the Fatal
Mhm.
4-Way for the Women's Championship, Women's North American Championship, Javon
Mhm.
Evans and Ethan Page, NXT Tag Title, and then you have the Strat match.
Yeah, so it's like we got a pretty stacked card. Pretty stacked card for
Look,
for Saturday.
everybody complaining about WWE only putting 5 matches on the card. Come watch NXT.
Well, the thing is that's only for the main pay-per-views. This is NXT. That's completely different. But we I think we got to talk about the biggest surprise of the night, which was Soruka coming out with Zaraya. No, we got to talk about Ricky Starks. We got to talk
Ricky
about Ricky.
Starks is in NXT.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, he didn't say
Definitely
his
was.
name. He didn't say his name. You know who he is, but you don't know why he's here. But
Yeah, he definitely said, "You all know who I am."
mhm,
The crowd was chanting his name,
mhm.
and I'm interested to see where he's gonna go first.
Yeah,
Is he
you know.
gonna get catapulted into the main title,
Mhm.
or are they gonna make him go through the North American Championship first?
Well, the thing is with Ricky, especially, like you could put him in the NXT title division right off the bat. I think how the crowd's reacting, big babyface pop. It's like with Obafemi, he kind of like teeters between back and forth between babyface and heel. I'd say why not? You also have depending on it's Javon Evans and Ethan Page. This seems to be like the nail in the coffin kind of issue between them two. So you could insert him into either of them if you want to put Ricky as a babyface or a heel. But at least for the time being, for the short term, it seems like they're gonna progress with him as a babyface until we get that good old turn happening. So I would say like they put him in the main event right away because Theory and Waller aren't gonna be long term in NXT after Vengeance Day. I would believe. So I would just say like do Oba and Ricky. What's the harm in it?
I mean, Ricky versus Theory would actually be a good match.
I would. But time and place, and I'm not sure if they're gonna get the title off Oba this soon.
That's the problem, and I really don't want Ricky to come in and lose going for the championship at first.
Hmm.
So, do you keep him away from that for a while to protect him?
I think the natural matchup is probably Ricky and Trick because you could have Trick win the strap match, and then you could insert Trick with Ricky while still keeping Oba and Trick apart.
What do you mean,
Anyone,
Tater?
yeah, anyone know what happened to Austin Theory? In what way?
Yeah, he was just on the show tonight.
Yeah, are you talking about his descent from WrestleMania beating John Cena to NXT, or do you just mean like it's not bad? I'm a fan of Austin Theory. They just haven't really given him enough meat on the bone, and it's proof that you could beat all the former world champions you want, but if you don't have any follow up to that, then that doesn't mean anything.
I think he got lost in the transition of Vince and Triple H.
Absolutely, and we are going to find out at least later down the line because during that whole 2023 era where Vince was still like in the company but not in the company,
Hmm.
there was still this weird power play and power struggle between the two. And I feel like Austin Theory was definitely a victim of that. I think Cameron Grimes was a victim of that. I think Baron Corbin was a victim. I think we had a lot of people who were victims of that. Kind of like struggle for power during that home regime change. And unfortunately, when Austin Theory was U.S. champion, like they had him win a lot, but he didn't really develop anything interesting, which is a shame. And of course, this happened during the whole Bloodline story too. So you're gonna get lost in the shuffle either way. It was just a lot. Like it was just too much too soon for Austin Theory.
And he has everything. He has the total package.
Hmm. He's if you fuse John Cena and Randy Orton together. Like this is like John Cena and Randy Orton, like 2003, 2004, Randy Orton.
I
And I
think he
feel
will turn it around.
absolutely like he's too talented not to. And I feel like if they let go of Austin Theory, that's a major loss on WWE's part.
AEW would sign him right up.
Honestly, it's like I wouldn't even mind him in New Japan either,
Yeah, he'd be a good fit there.
because I feel like if he signs with AEW, I'm not sure because AEW is a very big like Impact. It's a very in NXT to a certain degree where it's just like rotation of talent. But sometimes if you're not fixed into anything permanent, the rotation becomes maybe like once every like 3 weeks, once every 4 weeks on television if you're not in a set story. And I just feel like Austin Theory like to develop, you got to have some familiarity instead of just being pegged as the former WWE guy.
WWE needs to use Dragon Lee more. Yeah, I can't argue that back. But
You're telling me that WWE Speed Champion Dragon Lee is not being used? How dare you? But yeah, Dragon Lee. I believe he recently just had his second daughter.
Yes.
So he was out for a little bit on paternity leave. So I think he's back now. So hopefully they pick up the pace with him and have him and Ray as a tag team going forward. And
Yeah,
it looks like
he came out last night to help Ray afterwards.
yeah. And he was also the week before had a match with a New Day. So yeah, but overall, this episode of NXT I felt was a very strong episode, considering that they were not only building up a show but also building up the show for next week as well. So it's like you got a lot of exciting stuff coming.
I mean, the match to open the night between Cora and Bailey was actually really good until Roxanne got involved.
Well, again, it was always going to be like a screwy finish because, again, Bailey and Roxanne are kind of, they're feuding right now and they're going to cancel each other out, not only in the match at Vengeance Day, but probably at the Chamber too if Roxanne were to qualify next week. So it seems like they are building the issue between the two, and it's going to come to a head where it's going to leave Julia with Cora, and Cora's already got her sights on the Impact Knockouts Championship as well. So there's a lot of moving parts in this one match right here.
Oh, when does she fight for that?
Is it the Rebellion show?
Is that in March or is that now?
I believe it might be in March. I could be wrong. It's either March or April.
Let's see.
Because it seems like that's the direction for Cora. So it's like, ironically, I think Julia is kind of like the one where she's not really given much like focus. She's kind of like an add-on in all of this because you have the Cora and Roxanne kind of having friction with each other. You have Roxanne having friction with Bailey, and Julia, she doesn't really have anything going on in sense of personal gripes other than beating Roxanne for the championship.
Yeah, that's what it seems like her focus is right now. Is beating
Yeah.
Roxanne.
So it's just like, again, should be a good match. He's getting sued. Pat McAfee checks on fan accidentally nailed by top champion during live Netflix show. Austin Theory or Gunther?
Gunther's the one that threw the jacket.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee's the one that ducked.
Yeah.
If he doesn't duck, the fan never gets hit.
No, that's the thing, I would just have I would have just given him like free swag and merch, But yeah, the women like Bailey and Cora Jade, nice fine match. And then after the match, after Cora pins Bailey, she's added to make it a fatal 4-way. How do you feel about the change, Scouts? Do you think it's an improvement? Do you think it's unnecessary? What do you think?
Well, you know that Bailey's not winning
Mm-hmm.
because she's not staying down in NXT.
Correct.
You know that Roxanne's not winning because she is moving up to the main roster very shortly.
Correct.
I think this now adds intrigue to where Cora can actually be believed as a possible threat and a potential winner.
So you don't think they just added Cora so she could take the loss?
Yes, that's the instant reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
But now it actually seems like someone could be Julia that's staying in NXT for a little bit.
Yeah, that is one possibility. I don't think they would take the title off Julia this soon. I wouldn't think so. But again, another thing is a potential Cora Jade as NXT Women's Champion challenging for the Knockouts Women's Championship is a very lucrative idea, I'm sure, for TNA and the NXT partnership. And it would probably be the biggest high-profile match to that point TNA would have gotten from the NXT side onto one of their shows.
What's going on, Will? How are you tonight?
What up, Will?
Yeah, obviously, she probably will take the pinfall.
Mm-hmm.
And that is overall the main reason that she is added.
Mm-hmm.
But now it just gives you that it wants you to suspend the belief that she can actually win it.
Right, that's the story that they're trying to portray, especially like
Yeah.
since they're kind of teasing that Roxanne Cora breakup, kind of like team breakup.
Right. Because Bailey has planted the seeds, and then now you're seeing it more so between the two of them.
Mm. And again, nice little story. It just kind of leaves Julia out in the cold, for lack of a better term, in terms of story or just direction in general. So I just hope they kind of pick that up once they get to Stand Deliver.
Well, I mean, do we think Stephanie's winning and beating Fallon Henley?
Uh, hmm, that's a good question. Do you like, because they gave Julia the championship relatively soon, but that was her second shot at the title.
Hmm.
For Stephanie, the thing is, they were teasing Julia and Stephanie a lot at the, well, what was it, the Iron Survivor Challenge.
Hmm.
So I think there's a good chance that Stephanie wins, but at the same time, I still think they're kind of like they want something big for Stand Deliver, and I feel like it's going to be Stephanie and Julia. So I don't see Stephanie winning. I think they save that championship for Zarya.
I could definitely see that too.
Yeah, so that those are my thoughts on it.
But would it mean more for Zarya to win it off of Stephanie?
It would mean more, absolutely, but at the same time, I wouldn't like if that hypothetically like took place at Stand and Deliver. I wouldn't just give Stephanie the title just to drop it to Zarya. You know what I mean? Like just because like she would be like transitional champion at that point, and I don't think
Right.
Stephanie would it is the type of talent you want to do a transitional reign for. And I think like they've been teasing the Julia and Stephanie matchup for a bit now. I think that's where you pay it off at Stand and Deliver and kind of like tie up that story. So it gives them both something to kind of do. And they've been teasing the Fallon Henley and Fatal Attraction kind of like dissension. And that's still kind of early on within that dissension, but I feel like with Zarya, she's like the kind of talent, as we saw tonight with Nikita Lyons, where she could feasibly handle her own during, like, if it's a 3-on-1 scenario.
Very
And
easily.
even with Sol Ruka there too, Sol Ruka is like a formidable backup too. So I do think like Fallon would win, and then we have Zarya take it off Fallon because it's like 1, 2, 3 strikes and like third time's a charm with these defensives with Fallon Henley.
Yeah, I mean, she's had a decent run, but I think it is getting to the point where it is time to get that belt off of her. If
Well,
it
I
doesn't
think I think in
hurt,
the current state, yeah, the current state of Fallon Henley in this championship run, I think she's gone as far as she can with it. Especially because now she's transitioning to that like fatal attraction story and that dissension there. So I think it's just like you could give it till Stand Deliver, and then I think that's when you begin that dissension.
does losing the belt
Uh,
multiply the decision.
but yeah, I do think we're going to see a lot of big things happening within this women's division for the foreseeable future.
Well, it is probably the most stacked women's division out of all the companies.
I mean, you could definitely make a great case for it.
What's going on now? How are we doing tonight? Thanks for stopping
Hello.
by here.
But yeah, you got a lot. Like you got a. Why wasn't our truth in the Rumble? He didn't get a number. That's it. he thought
Um,
he got a King of the Ring spot though.
yeah, I don't. Was there? Did he put any videos out?
I'm not sure. I
He
know
usually does. He usually does something.
he congratulated Jey Uso on winning the Elimination Chamber.
That see, there it is. He went to the wrong. He went to the wrong arena for the show.
So we got a lot of things to talk. We took care of the women's matches for Saturday. Let's talk about Ethan Page and Javon Evans because their rivalry is like really heating up.
This is now what, an unsanctioned match.
Correct. Like they said that uh, they are. Ava said to Javon that they are no longer viable or responsible for any damage that is done.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good match.
Yeah, and you know what? Kudos to Ethan Page. He's really taken the opportunity that NXT gave him, and he's absolutely ran with it.
See, this is this is the difference between NXT and what AEW does. Is NXT is giving them a chance to do something and then letting them run with it. Like the same with Lexus King. Like look
Hmm.
at him and his character development here.
Hmm.
AEW, if they feel that you're not getting over, they pretty much put the kibosh on it and then you go away.
I think it's more of because WWE, especially in NXT, they have more structure. They have that structure element by it. So with Ethan Page, there was a plan for him, and that was the Trick Williams feud. I feel like with AEW, it's like let's take Ricochet for example. What Ricochet was doing when he debuted wasn't really working, and then due to the reaction, he kind of leaned into it, and as a result, that's what the Ricochet we have today is. And I feel like that lean in doesn't happen unless you kind of like test the waters or feel it out. If they just kind of like went straight, all right, all you have is the Osprey match, and then it wouldn't have worked as well. So it's like with AEW, they kind of like do that occasionally, but with Ethan Page, it's like he gets consistent television time on this show, and it helps with NXT because it's like it's that show. With AEW, you had at the time you had Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision, so you're gonna have to watch three shows to get the full story and arc of this character. But with NXT, you just get that one show, neat little package, 2 hours. So it's a lot more structured in that sense.
Yeah, that's the one thing that AEW never really did well is they should have done, even if it was not a full
Mhm.
split, they still should have had people for specific shows.
I mean, I don't disagree. I think it's good to have staples of the show, but again, it's not my company, not my issue. They can do what they want.
But
I'll still watch.
this match, I feel that we're going to see Javon Evans win just because of everything that he's been through.
Hmm.
He's not going to give a crap, and he's going to do whatever it
Yeah.
takes.
Oh, I said this on the live, and I still felt like the eye for an eye match. I still think it should have been like a tooth for a tooth match. Because Ethan Page has the smiling character. He does this, and I'm just saying, imagine like a big like old like gap right there, like a big tooth that's like pulled out, have like the Lloyd Christmas kind of deal.
It would have been great.
Yeah,
It's almost like a hair versus mask type match.
yeah, but it's like it's a tooth for a tooth.
What do you think of the strap match that was added tonight?
I think it makes sense, especially with the Eddie Thorpe, kind of like going off on Trick, and just like the ending that happened at last week's NXT as well. I'm not sure. Can we just appreciate Eddie Thorpe's three-dimensional move like a couple weeks back of not being in the Iron Survivor Challenge and getting an NXT Championship match that way? Like that's what I like sometimes. Sometimes the simplest like answers like work with these stories. The thing is, Eddie Thorpe is just kind of like, eh, to me. Like I know what they're trying to do, but it just kind of seems like I'm trying to be invested, and I shouldn't try to be invested in somebody, if that makes sense.
His character is not the greatest, but they've finally giving him a chance to show what he can do in a ring.
Mhm.
And this guy's a phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah, and being a phenomenal wrestler is cool, but you still need that extra sizzle, especially within the NXT and WWE realm. And I feel like with Eddie Thorpe, phenomenal wrestler, that's cool. We also have a lot of other phenomenal wrestlers who also have a little something extra.
Mhm.
And they are trying slowly but surely to have like different developments and different aspects to his character, which I do appreciate because they're giving him a chance in general. And having a chance with arguably the face of NXT, Trick Williams, is nothing to sneeze at. And I feel like this strap match is going to deliver. It's just a matter of where does he go after this? You know, what is his character after this? Because right now it's about hating Trick Williams. Where does he go after this feud? And it's just like one of those things where, like, I'm waiting for him to go to second gear, and I feel like we're still kind of like in that cruise control kind of
Mhm.
phase.
Yeah, he's really not developing as much as they're expecting him to, or that the fans are wanting him to.
Mhm. Like, I mean, you could have. I know we were talking about like Duke Hudson. I'm like, put him in that spot. Like I feel like Duke would have been fine. Uh, I feel like Josh Briggs would have been fine in that role. Wesley would have been fine. Like would have been crushed that role as well. So it's just like, but I will say they are trying. They are trying with Eddie Thorpe, and they see something in him, and they're hoping to like kind of get it out of him. And I hope he succeeds on Vengeance Day.
We haven't seen Wesley on NXT TV lately.
He did a couple shots for TNA, if I remember.
So that's why we're not seeing him, you think?
Yeah, for a little bit, and then it wouldn't surprise me if he gets involved with the whole Trick Williams match too, just because they did have that interaction
Mhm.
like a couple weeks ago, and I don't think that's finished yet.
So, sticking with TNA real quick.
Hmm.
This week is taped. Next week is live
Hmm.
from Full Sail.
Yeah,
How much interaction you think we get between the two brands, since it's going to be essentially across the street from each other?
I think more than we just expect. I expect like one, maybe two big cameos, like for our NXT to TNA.
And then they're taping again at Full Sail the next night, so that'll probably be 3 more weeks of taping.
Yeah, so there's enough room to have like a little like mini program that you could put on TNA.
Ooh,
So but again,
sorry.
it's like you got a lot of different options there too. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we see Lexus King perhaps on TNA. I wouldn't be
Especially
surprised.
now with the system.
Yeah, so it's like you got a lot of options. You got a lot of
Brian,
different options.
Brian Myers, Brian Myers tonight on Twitter was like,
Hmm.
"I hate Lexus King." So, like I said earlier, I think that could be the next progression in that story if he's going to go through more members of the system.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty fun.
You mentioned Josh Briggs.
Hmm.
He is now fighting for the tag team championship at Vengeance Day with him and um, Inamura versus Fraxian.
Yeah,
Fraxian is fine, right?
Fraxium's always fine. Like the fact that people keep asking if Fraxium's fine, like I'm concerned for them. I'm not concerned for me because I know for a fact Fraxium's fine.
Think they retain?
I don't think so.
If they do that, that'd be the first person who is not a WWE roster holding a belt.
Hmm.
And I wonder if that's in reference to Noah giving Omos the belts while he was there too.
I would think so. You want to make sure everyone is content with the said relationship. They had Nakamura win the U.S. Championship specifically, in my mind, to be at that Noah show and show up with the U.S. Championship. So,
Mm-hmm.
what better way to show off the partnership than put a NXT Championship on uh, Briggs and his friend?
But why bring Omos back if you're not going to use him?
Well, we don't know how he's going to be used yet.
I know, but there was no rush to bring him back.
That we know of.
Well, he didn't show up at the Rumble, and that's what everybody thought he was going to be.
Because everyone expected it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like with Omos, I honestly wish, because I am an Homo sapien. We follow each other on TikTok. Where he's basically my best friend at this point. But like with him, like I just want to like I hope they embrace because Omos is a very charming, charismatic guy, and I think he's just so much more than the attraction giant. And that's what WWE should do. They should really tailor him as an attraction. and it wouldn't surprise me if he's a front runner in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. They really want him to like give him a serious push or contention. But again, we have 10 weeks till that point. So what do you do in the meantime? If you got to look at the roster and you got to see who can use a friend like Omos right now.
Royal Rumble did have some wasted spots. I don't know.
The thing is, it's like with Chad Gable, he said he was going to master the dark lucha arts. What if he just like brought back Omos as a new member of American Made? You could do that. Have a little bit more muscle in that group.
There is rumors of Chad Gable going down to AAA.
And you could even do Braun Strowman and Omos again. Like they had one match before, but now it's like Omos doesn't have a manager anymore. You could have him a little bit more unleashed.
Mm-hmm. Could see that.
But yeah, Frax seems fine. But I feel like the setting tonight, them in just like casual clothes as Briggs, and his partner picked up the win. I feel like it was more of like it's a little bit too casual of a setting. Like they seem a little bit too confident in this match and they should be. They're the tag team champions. They retained over Nick Nemeth and Ryan Nemeth on TNA television, so they got a lot of accomplishments on their belt recently. So I feel like that's going to end at Vengeance Day.
That's fair. Is there anything else we want to touch on about the show tonight or Vengeance Day?
Did we go over the? I don't think we went over the triple threat.
No, we didn't. You're right.
Yeah. Let me just make sure we got the entire card that we went over. Yeah, the triple threat is the only thing we haven't went over yet. So we got Obafemi, Austin Theory, and Grayson Waller.
Oba has to retain here.
I mean, like, yes. Very yes. Because they are trying to build up Obafemi and Trick Williams for a future match, which could potentially be the stand and deliver match if you really wanted to. But again, this is also kind of building up that Austin Theory and Grayson Waller breakup that I feel like we've been seeing play out for the entirety of a year. But at least it's happening in a realistic way and not like the shock turns that usually happen. I remember like the Primetime Players like broke up out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Crime Time. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like they just like to break up these tag teams like out of nowhere just because it's like, oh, we see singles potential in you.
Been a tag team to begin with.
Well, I mean, they were a joined together tag team and then they broke up. But now it's like I feel like we're at the point where it's like it's not like the Hollywood Blondes where it's like they still have more gas in the tank with them. Like I do feel like it's time to split up Grayson and Austin. I think that's time just to see what they can do on their own. And I feel like they put them together because Austin Theory does work well in bouncing off of other people. Like he works well when he was working off of Johnny. He worked well with going off of Grayson. For the little time that he had during the whole Seth Rollins group, he had some good rapport with that. So the entirety of Austin Theory, I think he's just ready to break away at this point. I feel like Grayson is holding him back, and Grayson, to another extent, needs to kind of get a little bit more spotlight on his own. Like he did the whole match with Edge Cope at Madison Square Garden, I believe.
Yeah,
and and he delivered there. So I think it's now, especially since they're on Raw, fresh coat of paint. It's time for just kind of like split that up, and then you start the tease here. Have Obafemi. I would have Oba like do the double pin. You know what I mean?
So neither of them actually gets the loss, but both get it at the same time.
Like Oba pins both of them at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
So one can't be over the other saying, "Oh, you're the one that got pinned," when they both actually did.
Yeah, it's like you can't blame the other when it's just like, like when that. But again, heel logic dictates like, hey, like they're going to blame each other no matter what if they lose.
Right.
And they've already started something, I think, with the Alpha Academy on Raw. So it's like that would be a good way to for the Alpha Academy to get a win because like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller already had this tiff from Vengeance Day, and then that plays into Raw, and then you just gotta take it from there.
Hopefully, we've all been wanting and hoping for it for the last year or so, like you said.
But yeah, I think Obafemi is the guy to retain, and then at Stand and Deliver, you could have Oba, Trick, potentially Ricky Starks in there. But again, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm still shocked about Ricky.
How can you be shocked? The revolution is televised.
But yeah. Anything else?
That's about it. Nice surprise seeing Ricky Starks. Nice cage match between Tony D'Angelo. Sean Spears and his crew taking him out at the end.
We
Uh,
know, we know Tater. We know that a kid got hit by Gunther's jacket.
hmm, let's see. Are you sure? You might need to say that one more time. But yeah, pretty much a very solid episode of NXT. A lot of people have direction, which I like. A lot of people do have direction in NXT, big and small. And that's what I like about NXT as a weekly show is that you get to see all these things play out. And at Vengeance Day, we're going to see the next chapter, especially to see what that surprise group is. And then, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready for next week too.
They keep adding little wrinkles to it every time they show them on screen, which I
Hmm.
love. Because now it's all about speculation and seeing what else is happening. And
Yeah.
we'll
Well,
see if anybody can figure it out. I don't know if they're from WWE ID or not. I don't know if they're gonna be from.
someone did decode like two people on the end were from like WWE's like Performance Center or WWE ID.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see. I want to be surprised with it. I don't really want to try and figure out who it is.
Nah, yeah, it's like that's how it is, and we'll see like how they appear, like what are they going to do when they appear, who they're going for.
I mean, there are factions, so you
Hmm.
figure they were gonna go. They should go after the tag team championships
I
because
mean, you
that's
could.
where it is.
Uh, it wouldn't surprise me if, like a real statement, like again, you want to keep Obafemi strong, but it's like you got these four guys going after Obafemi right off the bat, and then you have sort of like this whole thing. Again, the group needs to establish dominance right away, and the biggest impact to do that is in the main event. Who's in the main event? Obafemi, most likely. Or it could be the women's championship match,
I was
either
just, I
or.
think they might. If they were smart, they would put the women's championship in the main event.
Like either put that in the main event or first on the show, like either or. Like if you don't want to be on, if you're not on last, you want to be on first. Like that's
Mhm.
usually the rule of thumb. So again, it's just like if you want to make the group's impact that much more, you have to put it in a meaningful spot, and maybe in one of the matches where there are no rules, like the strap match or the unsanctioned match, you could do it there as well. But I feel like the biggest impact would be after the NXT championship match.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. But all right, Richie.
All right.
Um, let's end this out. Let's tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me, Retold Richie Mars, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, videos every day on TikTok, podcast, Retold Richie Mars on Spotify. So it's Wrestling Retold and Relive with Richie Mars. Just type Richie Mars in the search bar. It should pop up. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And no new episode this week, but next week we're going to have the worst of TNA wrestling. But the latest episode that we're going to have is Jay Uso and the very divisiveness the fans have had for Jay Uso in his Rumble win and their reactions.
Yeet.
Yeet, indeed. I am team Yeet, but I'm trying to see why his polarizing reaction is just that. So check it out if you want. Again, it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
I am Scals. We will be here every Tuesday night on YouTube for NXT on Tap with Richie and normally Ebby. Um, he had some family situation to take care of tonight, so we wish her all the best in that. You can also find me on Friday nights or Saturday nights or Sunday nights whenever we decide to go live with it. It's the hot tag with me and Jamie Rose. I am going to be starting to put out on a video on either Sunday night or Monday morning covering LFG, Legends and Future
Mm.
Greats, and then be on the lookout for just different videos I've been dropping on YouTube lately with Fortnite, pack openings, different things. So if you like all that, make sure you like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Anything else you have to say, Rich, before we head on out?
No, everyone have a nice night. Hopefully, you guys enjoy NXT Vengeance Day like we are, and then we'll see you next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, we'll cover Vengeance Day. If we decide to do a show after Vengeance Day, we'll put it out there so everybody can know, so you can join us and have some fun. Hope
Mhm.
you all have a great evening. We'll catch y'all soon.
All right, take care, people.